Hey everyone, and welcome to our first ever episode of CodeFights. So on this channel, I'm going to bring in a few guest developers to come in and try to solve a coding problem all within 15 minutes. Now the tricky part is they're not allowed to run the spec suite until the very end, so they won't know if their code passes until then. At the end of the 15 minutes, they'll get a chance to present their solutions and I'll pick a winner. This is going to be tons of fun, so don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and that notification bell so that you don't miss out on our upcoming episodes. So today I'm here in Sydney with software developers Rick, Trav and Terry. Guys, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi guys, I'm Rick, software developer here in Sydney, mainly work with React and other front-end tech. You can find me on my LinkedIn and GitHub. Both of them are Rick_Lavers. No K on that, Rick, just an RIC.
Sweet. Hey guys, I'm Travis. I am a front-end developer currently working with Angular. You can find me on Twitter with @TKellyCoolio. And yeah.
Hey y'all, my name is Terrence Strong. I'm a front-end developer as well, primarily using React. And you can find my handle at Terrence Strong. That'll be my GitHub and Twitter and all the fun stuff.
Excellent. So today's Code Wars challenge is weird string case. This question asks you to write a function called toWeirdCase that accepts a string and returns the same string with all even index characters in each word uppercased and all odd index characters in each word lowercased. The indexing just explained is zero based, so the 0th index is even. That's the one that needs to be uppercased. The passed-in string will only consist of alphabetical characters and spaces. Spaces will only be present if there are multiple words, and words will be separated by a single space. So, for those of you who want to code along with us at home, we've dropped the link to the coding question in the description below. If you're in a rush and you just want to see what the guys have actually come up with, then we're also going to leave the timestamp below so you can fast forward through to their solutions.
All right, let's just code this in the console.
So just to explain, I have with me my colleagues, Alex and Luke, and they're going to be providing a bit of commentary on the guys' code.
Absolutely. Okay, so we had two people go straight for the oh my goodness, string.string. Interesting there. String.split, yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Fantastic. Good on this chat. Just trying to catch up with what we're doing. So the idea here is, I'm assuming a weird case is an upper first, lower second, or something along those lines.
Exactly. Now the catch is you've actually got to do each word, so they can provide you with a few words. Each word has to start with an uppercase character.
Okay.
And then it has to go lower, upper, and obviously alternate.
Okay, so what I'd probably want to do is do a split into each word. So split on the space, and that'll give me like an array of words. And then on the word, I can just turn that into an array.
Yep.
How would you do it?
Yeah, no, that sounds legitimate.
And then really you just pass each word into a function which applies the rules to it that you need. So if the rule would be that the first word needs to have a capital on the start of it, great. Then you can just pass that into the function and it should know. Maybe even pass the index along with it from the split function. We've got on the top Trav. He's gone ahead and split with the space, which is cool. So he's now got an array there, which is sentence, and that is a array of all the words in the sentence. And then something is what he's working on now. He's hoping to map each one of those words probably to the result, which is a pretty good way of doing it. On the left, we've got Terry. He's been messing around with console a bit. Do you recognize what he's doing there? Terry.
The three...
Yeah, so we spread the string into an array.
Does that work?
Yep.
There you go. So he would have gone back the same thing that we would have gone with the split on the space? Or has he literally got every letter as a new value in the array?
Every letter is a new value.
Okay, so he's taking a different... So that would even mean that in its array he's got space values floating around. Very interesting. Then we got Rick on the bottom. Rick is also gone for the console approach. Not a bad approach. Just to sense check what you're doing. What has he got there?
Go on there, yeah.
Sorry, I'm just going to move this.
So he looks like he's going for a recursive 4i. My goodness. Okay, Rick, we might have to revisit in a second. I believe in you, Rick. You're going to do some great things. Going back to Trav. Trav has gone ahead and passed in his word as the first argument, his map, and this next argument is his index. So the index is probably going to be needed for him to, like I said, if there's various functions he needs to do on each word in particular, it would be good to know which index of the array it is. I imagine his first clause here is, yep, if the index is equal to a certain area, let's perform a function on it. So that's a pretty easy way of doing it. The index is divisible by 2. Actually, no. The percentage sign is the modulo sign.
Yeah.
So he's checking to see if there is a remainder when dividing the index by 2. And that's how he's going to decide whether or not he's on an odd or even word. Very good way of doing it. Back over to Terry. Luke, what's Terry doing?
He's got some very small text in the console there.
So Terry's now taking the 2-string array, he's now mapping. Oh, he's gone to a different tab. Brilliant. And then Rick is still just deep in the... I imagine Rick's approach is slightly different to the other guys, whereas he's not trying to slowly put his... just a very quick side note, I do see yeet.split is currently in Trav's console, which is a fantastic way to test any function, is to pass yeet into it. It is actually, in fact, one of the ones I like to use very commonly. Who else have we got? Rick. He's now deleted everything. He's to weird. Oh, he's managed to get it to weird case function. I completely missed that. He's well ahead of it. So to weird case, I'm assuming is this parrot language of uppercase, lowercase. But you have to flip which one starts with it, depending on what its index is.
Yes, he's gone around the wrong way, so you can see that it starts off with a lowercase when he's meant to start off with an uppercase.
I know the thing, but it's like...
Okay, sort out that even check.
Yep.
Percentage 2? I've lost what this does.
It's very interesting how he's gone for a map, and then inside of it he's using a pretest loop, which is much more of an ES5 sort of approach. He's kind of mixing the two worlds there. Because he's got word in them for the
Well,
word.
he split his initial string into words rather than characters.
Yeah, so both Rick and Trav have gone with the splitting sentences into words and then splitting the words into an array of characters. Moving over to Terry. Terry is he's using the same modulo function to test whether or not he's on an odd or even word. He's odd or even letter, so he's doing it by letter. And what's interesting there is he's going to have a little trouble when he gets to spaces, because that will, unless the entire string across it is meant to be odd, even, odd, because what he'll find is he gets let's say the word ends in a capital, he has a space after that, then he's going to have the next letter of the first word. Now, if that needs to be a lowercase because we finished the last word on a capital, he will have already run 2 uppercase on the space character, and that will mean that his next word will start on a uppercase. So he may come into a few problems there by going at literally taking the entire sentence and turning it into a string, into an array. Unlike Trav, who it looks like is very on his way. Trav has got some, it looks to me like a pretty good function there. Obviously he's testing the quotient, making sure if it's odd or even, and that dictates whether it's upper or lowercase, and then at the very end he's joining that back into a word, and then joining the words back into a sentence. You can tell that because letters is a join with an empty string, and the words are the join with a space.
I'm always there.
Which is pretty good sentence array management there.
Can't even read it anymore.
Let's try and work out together, Luke, what's going on with Rick down the bottom. I do think he's fallen prey to the problem of the fact that it's very hard to get good formatting on your console. He may have definitely benefited from workshopping his idea on the left and then copying that over to the console. talk about weird case, he's got a weird function. But the funny thing is, I bet it'll work. So it's just hard to read.
I'll refactor it.
Okay, so let's have a look how you go to that. So he's
The string. He's defining a result. And then he's setting.
okay. So he's taking the sentence and he's splitting it. So he's doing the same thing that we've got with Trav, where he's taking word by word, and then in that word he's iterating over each character. And then what is he doing there with the I plus R is plus equals I quote modulo 2?
I don't even know how to use it.
That's when it gets a bit strange. Oh, and now he's formatting it properly on the left side. Fantastic. We'll move back to him when he's. If you could stick on Rick, I'll come back to. We'll try and figure out what's going on with him in a second. Trav is off and away. He has come into the problem I mentioned earlier, where his spaces are getting counted as another character, though. So he's just output, hey, this is your boy Trav, and I can see that the Y in hey and the T in this are both capitalized. Is that the idea?
Yeah, so it should be the first. Yeah, that's correct. So
Okay.
the first letter of every word should be capitalized.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
right. I see. Okay, so that makes sense. So in Trav's over there, he's basically passing every single word through the same function. So each word gets treated as if it's in a vacuum. Same function. Doesn't really matter what came before it. Over on Terry, he's now gone full console, less text editor. I respect it. It also looks like he's got it into a loop, and there you go. He closed his tab. Fantastic.
What is he googling here? Take array of strings and no.
No, he wasn't happy with that one. Take array of strings, remove. Is he going to say what? Remove space. Trim. He will come up with trim. I imagine, or a replace.
Yep. So we've got a trim showing up on Stack Overflow.
So it depends what he's trying to do here. If you want to trim white space from around a string, you'd probably use the trim function there. If you want to trim all white space characters from a string in general, then you're going to want to use probably a dot replace and just pass an empty string into there and replace all empty string space characters with an empty string. The thing is, though, I would not want to remove spaces because that's going to be what indicates to me whether or not I'm starting a new word or not. Any comment on Rick, Luke? I know you've been studying him for a while.
I'm seeing an unexpected token here.
Yeah, he's got an odd approach, but see how he's got the R and he's using that to build up his word, essentially.
So he's declared R as a variable and he keeps adding to it.
Yes, yeah, that's exactly.
I see. So that would be the plus equals.
Yep.
So an interesting feature of JavaScript is that when you add onto a string, because obviously you can't add, like it seems a bit weird what you can't add onto a word. It handles that as just basically concatenating the letters together. So obviously it's not maths, you're not 2a plus a is not equal to b. A plus a is equal to AA. So in this case, he is taking each letter, doing what he needs to do to it, and then chucking that back onto the end of a new string, which you can see on his left there, result.push, he ends up just throwing out at the end of the function. Very interesting approach. I'll be interested to see.
Yeah, he needs to return the result.
Well, he's actually, it looks like he is, where does he declare R?
Oh no, he's declared result up there, right, okay.
Yeah, there you go.
What's he doing with X then? Yeah, I think he's gotten a little bit muddled with his array methods there.
See, this is one of those cases where it might work, yeah, so it works, but there's there's some things in there where it's like, did we need that? Like, for example, from what I'm seeing here, he's using a dot map, and like you said before, he's going to need to return the R, because dot map is taking everything in his string and running the same function over it. Now, he could have achieved the same thing with a for each, which would have probably done more what he's looking to do, and for each just runs the same function over something. Map actually returns that back as a new array. Which is much more seeing up with Trav, who has used two maps, and then is actually just returning the array at the end of the function.
Right.
which is perhaps a cleaner approach. It's definitely a more modern approach. It doesn't make Rick's approach any less wrong, let's put it that way. And then Terry. Terry, who in the start of this spread his string into an array, which I thought would be his downfall, because it would have stopped him from knowing which words start where. I'm just having a look at what to do. Make first letter capital. Correct.
No, it's good he's writing some notes.
Yeah.
So is Trav done now?
Trav finished quite early, actually.
Yeah, I feel like Trav's pretty happy with what he's got there.
Doing a bit of tidy up.
How would you? Is there anything we could actually tidy up here? He's turned. I can see he's turned his modulo into a ternary operator.
Yeah, that's much better.
Much better. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like his solution.
And now he's going to delete the whole thing. It looks like start fresh. He's got enough time, probably. Just do 2 flavors. Pick your favorite. No worries. Going back down to Rick. Is Rick locked in now?
I think Rick in the last 4 minutes or so decided that he was going to go for a refactor.
Yeah,
Was
cool.
Really cutting it a
bold.
little fine. It was indeed. Unfortunately, in the final minute, he realised that wasn't going to work and then had to revert.
Oh well, I'm keen to see this play out. I want to see the desperation in his face as he realises that he's gone down an interesting path here. He started off very strong because he did the string split, which I think is a good start. Split all your words into an array of words. And then I think he just got a little bit sidewind, taken off track a bit with how he did the map. Now he's doing okay. Word.split on a empty character on an empty string is just the same as splitting a word up into giving every single letter in that word a place in an array. It's not the easiest way to split up a string, but it's one of the ways to do it.
All right, so first up is Terry. Do you want to show us what you've got?
Yep, so I wrote this little, we have to do this all the time as devs because it's very important to, make sure people can't read properly. And so what I did first was that this function takes the string obviously, and then I turn that string and put it into an array, spread that in there, so it's like the word is hello, it'll be like H, E, L. And I didn't want to use a for loop because I think we're a bit better than that as devs. So, this way we're not mutating anything, so, yeah, and it's just a bit smarter way to do it. And so with that string, I mapped over it, and by mapping over it, I have the index and the value. And so, firstly, I take care of the first word, so if the index is 0, then val to uppercase. If this little thingy here, we'll just check if it's odd. So if it's odd, to lowercase. If it's not, to uppercase. And then I just join the string back together. Again, didn't use a for loop, so this probably could be.
Does it work with spaces though?
This could, I think so. We'll see with the specs.
Wouldn't the space, because you made it one word?
No. It actually does work with spaces. If you want to.
Does it actually?
Yeah.
That's sick because I don't.
I don't know. I really
Hang on a second. Do you guys think that it will
Yeah,
work
it will
with
work with
spaces?
spaces.
I think it won't work with
I don't think
spaces.
it
Alright, I think it will work with spaces.
All right. Well, moment of
What the
truth.
fuck did you do to make it work with spaces?
Do you want to hit the little that little minimize there?
This little comment here though was just a little red herring to throw you guys off. That's what it was. Yeah.
Well, we'll see about
Throw you
that.
guys off.
Cool. So if you just want to hit that, great.
Oh,
And then
so
you're going to
zoom in.
want to zoom out a little. Great. And then we're going to go run sample test first.
This one?
Yep. Moment of truth.
Bonk.
Okay.
Wait, why did that fail? Oh, because
Because
it's
it didn't work with
A.
spaces.
No, it does work with spaces. It just
It does. Yeah.
No, but it's meant to be the first letter.
But that is the first
Look at
A.
the look at is.
Oh.
Yeah.
You didn't account for the spaces.
All right. Great. Well,
I
good.
counted for
Good.
spaces.
All right. Good effort, Terry. Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
All right. So let's just pause there, and then we'll move on to Trav. Trav, what have you got for us?
That's what I wanted to do.
But you didn't.
That's
You literally gave him the answer when we started. Anyways.
Didn't you say?
exactly what I wanted. I was like trying to do this at the end. I was like,
Didn't you say you did this challenge already though? Like before?
apparently.
That's true.
Snap. All right, Trav, you're up.
All right, so first things first. I created a function, two-word case. First thing I want to do was make sure that the string that gets passed in is actually a string. So I'll just wrap that around the JS function string, just converts whatever comes in into a string, and then I split it, which with the argument of a space.
That's
So
what I
basically, I
missed.
get each word into its own value of the array, and I take those words, I map over them, which gives me the word and also the index of that word. With that word, I split each individual word with no space. So I just get each letter and their index. And based on their index, if module 2 equals 0, make the uppercase. If not, lowercase. I join those letters together with no space, just so it becomes a single word. And with all that, I join the words with a space, and that gives me the sentence.
Why? Just one question. Why did you not use a for each loop?
Because
For
I'm
loop.
not retarded.
Yeah. Okay. just needed to figure that one out.
That's all right.
Yeah.
I like when you did. I think because I think we're on the same line. Of
I know.
thinking,
Honestly, I
It's
would
good.
I would use it for each
I
loop
know.
because
Me too. I think it makes.
I like how it shows exactly what it's doing, and like you can. I don't know. I just really don't know. I have no idea how to use it. It's just
Okay, so do you guys have any comments? What do you reckon? Do you think it's going to work?
I think.
Yes, I think it's going to work.
All right, so if you want to zoom out just a
figure
little
out how to
bit.
zoom out.
So much
Command
Yeah.
minus thing.
Yeah.
bit of chocolate over there. Have
Good.
some dark chocolate.
And then we'll hit the run sample test.
Well, it might not work
Truthful.
now because you put that carrot in the end.
Oh.
Oh no, it's because
No,
you
you-
accidentally hit the. Sorry, remove
you
that.
touched it when you were-
All right,
yeah.
guys, remember that. Actually, I was like, I swear it works.
I don't know why you have all those semicolons. But
Yeah.
Excellent, and let's also submit it. So if you hit attempt, we'll just double
Wait,
check.
let me do
it's gonna
mine
run.
first.
Yeah, but it's just going to run all the tests. Excellent, nice work. High five. Good job.
Thank you.
Very nicely done. All right, and next up is going to be Rick. We've seen Terry and Trav's solutions. Why don't we have a look at what Rick put together?
sure, no worries, Carmen. I have to say that I just really like Travis's one a lot. I think that like I sort of got in back to like learning JavaScript school, doing little like things like this to learn JavaScript, and I just went back and made a for loop, and I never write for loops ever, like hardly ever do it. And the
But you did
reason
it then,
why I
didn't
wouldn't
you?
do it here is that you're actually returning a string, so you're kind of getting the thing, you're running through it, and you're adding it to the string, and then you're pushing it up here. So that's kind of like a real like 2015 kind of way to do it, because since ES6 you kind of have maps and things, and maps return a string, like they don't return.
Return the array, don't
They
you?
return array, but then you can do like dot join. So, but they return an output. So a for loop or a for each loop as well are more for doing like side effects. If you're going to be actually returning something like we are here, then a map is way better.
Why do you think you went with the for loop?
I'm just stressed out. And then like I knew it was bad. I knew I didn't like it. I knew there was a better way, but I just couldn't think of it. I was just like,
I just love how you started with map and then
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
favorite part. And then you
And then I
got off.
started with split and then map, but then like just the idea to be like, should I split again? Like it just didn't occur to me. I was like, no, I gotta do something. And then like I was like, when I was like, oh, I'll refactor it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna just put this in here instead of like doing it like, you know, with the ternary outside of that, because you can actually make this sort of the string as instead of doing dot lowercase, dot uppercase, just like stick it in there. But I mean, is it saving any space? I mean, I've added quotation marks.
What do you do when you get
And
a
then there's these square brackets, so really that's an extra 1, 2, 6 characters. And I could have just made word W and then had W dot. Oh, but then you got the dot back.
All right, so to be clear, it's not about saving characters when coming up with these solutions.
Yeah, no, that's right. Something the compiler will do that for you.
What do you do when you get a PR and you're reviewing it? It's got a for loop. What do you say? Oh,
Well,
try and map?
if there's side effects going on, it's like I don't. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
But if they're sort of returning something like this, I would probably say, hey, maybe use a map.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe decline.
That's what I want. The response I wanted to get.
So anyway, this is like the old school way of doing it.
Okay, all right. What do you guys think?
Good stuff.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It'll
Cool.
run. You
All
think it'll
right.
run?
I think so.
All right. Well,
$50 it'll run.
Yeah.
bum, bum.
What happened?
What'd you do?
I think I just.
I believed in you.
Where's the 50
I
bucks?
believe you asked $50.
There we go.
Great, excellent. And do you want to hit the attempt button as well? And also submit final. And let's have a look at what the most upvoted solution was.
I think you go past solutions. Nope. Look. Oop. That looks just like Travis's.
Lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's great.
All right, so I think today's code fight goes to Travis for having a really elegant, very efficient solution.
And he didn't use function.
Yeah, excellent work.
Thanks, guys.
Alrighty, thank you all so much for joining us. We will see you on the next episode of CodeFights. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at CodeFights. If you feel like you could have done a better job than these guys, then tweet at us, let us know. Alright, thanks a lot, guys.